folks. This is Jason. Not making a lot of videos right now because I'm in school, but this one really kind of caught my attention. This, of course, is I say, of course, this is an NBC article, and at least that's where I got it, was MSNBC. It's about NASA's $17 billion moon rocket that may be doomed before it ever gets to the launch pad. Now, folks, I'm a bit of a conspiracy hack, so bear with me for a moment here. I don't believe that the moon landings were, totally above board. In fact, I'm not sure that we went. The main reason for me that I'm a moon hoax advocate is simply this: nobody's replicated this technological achievement. No other country. We, as Americans, have never gone back to the moon. After 1972, Gene Cernan, of course, was the last astronaut. Now, remember, the moon landings were, other than Apollo 13, which nobody died in Apollo 13, every single moon landing was a success. Every single one. America supposedly put 12 men on the moon. Of course, there was one man in the lunar orbit, but in the moon's orbit, but with 12 men, first being Neil Armstrong, the last being Gene Cernan. Now, this has never been replicated by any other country, and the technological advancement it's like saying, once Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic, okay, we're good. We don't need to do that again. It's silly. But so now for what has it been since 1972? So 47 years, 47 years, right? We haven't done this. This achievement this remained, whatever it is, 48 years, 47 years, has remained undone. In fact, we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of the 1969 Apollo 11. In July of this year. That'll be 50 years. So when we look at this, they go into it in the second paragraph. They actually mention the Saturn V, but what they leave out about the Saturn V, and they never mention it again in the article, by the way. But here's what they say about the Saturn V: designed to send humans and almost 60,000 pounds of cargo to the moon and perhaps beyond. The SLC, which is this new rocket they're designing, this $17 billion disaster, but as you see here, designed to send humans, more powerful than any rocket since the Saturn V. Now, why are we using one that's not as powerful as the Saturn V? Oh, and by the way, the Saturn V payload is not 60,000, it's 90,000. So the Saturn V can lift more. It's been proven successful 6 times to the moon and back. Doesn't come back, but you know what I mean. It's been shown to be a technological wonder. Why are we trying to develop anything new? Why aren't we just adding on to the Saturn V? Why aren't we just making the Saturn V better? We already have the technology. It's like taking a car. Cars don't go backwards in technological advancement. Cars aren't more expensive now to build. They're cheaper. I mean, depending on your vehicle, obviously, adjusted for inflation. The technological advancements that are in your vehicle now, think about what you had in 1972. Excuse me, that was the last moon landing. The last landing was 72. So think about the car, think about the achievements, think about how think about television sets, think about calculators. You know, the old joke that there's more technology in a calculator, in the processing power of a calculator than NASA had when they put men on the moon. Yeah, no shit, because they didn't put men on the moon. And this just goes to show more of proof of that they can't get a rocket right. They can't even get this thing to the moon yet. Let alone that it's going to be the future of NASA. And see, I don't know if you can see on the screen here, but this is the SLS, the Saturn V. The Saturn V is the most powerful and the most successful. It's been tried and true. It's been tested and tested and tested. Why are we not using that? And why does it seem like, and this article also pushes SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, and how we need to have a private, and it basically is just pushing the private industry more. So we'll have a private and government together building this rocket to the moon. But NASA can't do it. NASA's incompetent. So we have to go to the private. We have to go the private route because NASA's just too stupid to get it going. So, of course, the great Elon Musk will get it. I mean, that's kind of the gist of the argument. But that's not the gist of the argument for me. The gist of the argument is we cannot, current technology will not allow us to send men and to the moon, land them, and bring them back. We did it 6 times we did it 6 times, and we can't do it now. We just it's just $17 billion, and this thing costs almost as much as the entire Apollo moon program. And this is where we are with this. It just gives more fuel to the conspiracy fire. It just shows more that another NASA admission that we cannot go to the moon. I mean, this if we have enough power, right? So if you have the Saturn V, which again, the Saturn V is 6 times to the moon, successful, been tested, can take 90,000 pounds and humans. Why are we going to something that can only take 60,000 pounds and it's never been tested? It just doesn't make sense. It's not logical. This is why people question NASA. This is why people question the moon landings. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. This was kind of for me because I wanted to document this because this kind of shocked me when I read it. It was really quite shocking. Thank you for listening.